Well, the performing arts are always celebrated here along coastal Delmarva, and in so many great ways with so many great performances. And one story that you may or may not be familiar with is that of Steel Magnolias. We've got two very special guests joining us on the CoastLife couch today from the Second Street Players. We've got Becky Craft, director of the show, and we've got Kat Baker, who is one of the actresses in this performance. And Steel Magnolias is such a great story that I know a lot of people are familiar with, but for those who aren't familiar with it, could you tell us, Becky, a little bit about this story and what attendees to the show can expect?
Well, actually, Steel Magnolias is a true story. The author's name is Robert Harling, and it's a story about his sister, whose name in real life was Susan. In the show, it's Shelby.
Yes.
And Shelby's life, her relationship with her mother, but more than that, it is the story of a small town group of women settled in the beauty shop, telling stories, laughing, crying, supporting, a little bit of everything. People should expect to see these wonderful relationships that have developed over the years, and will have laughter, but they'll also have tears.
Yes.
The story is very poignant about the mother-daughter relationship, as well as the support that we get from our chosen family, our community, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful story.
It really is a beautiful story, and I think it is it takes a village personified on the stage right there. So Kat, for you, tell us a little bit about the character that you're playing and how you've kind of brought her to life.
Well, I'm playing Malin, which I will say is a total thrill.
Yeah.
There's not many shows I would be willing to travel for or a part, and this is both, either to be in the show, but also to get the part I really wanted. That was very exciting. Malin is Shelby's mom, for those who know the show. And first, I think to really bring her to life, to get her character, it was getting into her voice. Because we're all Louisiana, we're very Southern, but we're still proper women. And
Most of us.
Most of us. And it's kind of finding those beats. The thrill with being in the show too, which made it simpler for me as far as the village, as far as the girlfriends, they already were. I know these ladies. I've worked with them with other shows. There's been some delights, including our producer, Ann, who I've never known before. I've never worked with this theater before, so it was a first. And but as far as finding the character, I am a mom, so I was able to find, obviously, the love I have for my children. I'm a girlfriend, the love I have for my girlfriends, and the family we choose for ourselves. And so I just think it's such a universal story, but those emotions, those feelings, who we are as women, I think anyone can relate.
I think so too. I mean, it really is it's a story of womanhood and girlhood just as much as it is about the ups and downs of life and relying on those friends. So Kat, you also said this is your first time with Second Street.
Yes, it is.
How do you like it? And for folks who it may be their first time joining you for a show with Second Street, why would you encourage them to come out?
Well, I would certainly encourage anyone to come out. It's a delightful theater. I have seen several shows there. I've been friends with obviously many actors on their stage, and we always go to support the arts and the patrons, and to do all that, or to be a patron of our friends. And but it has been such a welcoming, embracing experience as an actor who's never walked on. I mean, even the first time I stood on stage, it was like, wow, this is really different. And but I found the people that are surrounding us, tech-wise, behind the scenes, certainly on the scenes, the theater itself, it is very, very embracing. And I will say, if no one's been to Second Street before, it's time to come to Second Street.
Yes, you're missing out.
And see this show.
Fantastic. For both of you, is it a challenge to take a story like this that, people are familiar with the film, they're familiar with the actresses in it? How do you, use that maybe as a launching point, or how do you do things differently? What are the challenges, and why is it also exciting to maybe work with something that's a well-known piece?
Well, that's one of the blessings of a show like this, because we all have those neighbors,
Yep.
So each of the women in the show have their own very distinct personality, and that was my comment about, well, we're all, you know, gentle women. This is actually the second time I've directed this show, and I was in it back in the early 90s. And so it's kind of fun to watch that morph because everybody does it a little bit differently. So it's really beautiful to watch all of the women in the show who go from the demure, business-like Malin, you know, to the socialite Claire Rhee, who's played by Gina Schuck. We have a wonderful cast. I was truly blessed. We had an amazing number of people audition, and it was just a blessing to be able to work with these ladies.
Fantastic. Good to hear. All right, so we know that everybody's hooked. Everybody who wants to come out and see the Second Street Players put on Steel Magnolias. When can they do that? What are the show dates?
We open this Friday, run for 2 weeks. Performances start at 7 o'clock. I guess I should have known that coming into it. And 7 o'clock on Fridays and Saturday, and Sunday's matinee starts at 2, I believe. It's a beautiful little theater. It's comfortable. It's just a great little theater. And they can come see it for 2 weeks, starting this Friday, 2 weekends.
Fantastic. Well, we'll give people a minute to map out their calendars, maybe take Mom for Mother's Day. It would be beautiful and heartbreaking, but a wonderful gift to take Mom to go see that. And it's just, you know, you're going to walk away. It's a profound story, so you're going to love it. Well, thank you guys for coming in today.
Thank you for having us.
So much.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Coming up, though, on CoastLife, you know, we always love chatting away. We've got more things to get to when we get back.